Hi there, thank you for checking out this video. This one I am excited about. It's about sleep, specifically insomnia. I have some real concrete tips to help you to sleep better. So this is aimed at anyone who is struggling to sleep at night in some way and can do something about it. So what I mean by that is we all have circumstances where we can't control it. For example, a crying baby, a child that needs us, if we are ill in some way and up in the night. Those are all things we can't control and hopefully are temporary. And if you have a crying baby that is kind of in the nicest possible way destroying your mind because you are so tired and you can't cope, I have been there in the last year and it will get better. It will. I still look pretty tired, but that's more down to me than the baby. My sleep has improved hugely in recent years because of the things I'm about to tell you. It's not perfect by any means. It's not even good, but it is better. So it's all about improving, and I'm not at the end of improving. I hope you can maybe give me more tips of how to improve further. Perhaps sleeping pills is a way to go. I am reluctant because of the worry of becoming reliant on them. But if anybody has any experience, please let me know. Let me know which ones they were and how they work for you, how long you've taken them for. Anything you can say that might help me or somebody else reading the comments. So these tips are not for those situations that we can't control. They are for you if you find it really difficult to fall asleep, or if you wake up after not very long and can't get back to sleep. If you have too many thoughts in your head keeping you awake, if you can't calm down enough to go to sleep, that was me. So hopefully these can help. These have all been told to me by a GP and a very useful GP who didn't just brush me off but was really, really constructive. So hopefully I can make your life a bit easier if you can try some of these things. Okay, so let's get into them. So firstly, I'm glancing at my piece of paper over here. We're looking at what you can control. So as much as possible, my first tip is go to bed and wake up at similar times every day. This is a difficult one because that means regardless of how well you have slept. So you might have slept terribly. It gets to 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever time you've set yourself to get up and you don't want to get up. Maybe it's a Saturday and you don't need to and you think, I'll just have a couple more hours, I'll have a lie in. Don't, because it's all about setting your body clock. Okay, it doesn't matter how well you've slept the night before, you still go to bed around the same time, you get up around the same time. Yes, it's difficult if you're on a big night out, to be like, well, it's my bedtime, I'm going home. To be honest, it depends how much you want to get better. If you don't mind this taking a bit longer or having a bad night here and there, then stay up a bit later on those nights, but keep it rare because the more you can do this, the better it will work. So going to bed at a similar time, getting up at a similar time, it makes your body realise this is when I rest, and you're giving yourself enough time for your body to do all the things it needs to do while you sleep. Does anybody else stress while they're lying awake? This is when my body repairs itself and it's not doing it because that's how I feel. But I've had years of it and I'm still okay, so we won't worry too much about that. So that's my first tip. Secondly, don't have any TV on or look at electronic devices for an hour before you go to bed. The electronic devices especially emit a blue light that tells us it's daytime, it's time to wake up. That's what that does. Not helpful when we are trying to wind down. Okay, so I know that iPhones have a setting, let me see where it is, it's called night shift. That you can set for a certain time on your phone. I think mine comes on about 8 o'clock and you can still use your phone because let's be realistic, we all have things to do and people we want to talk to. But dims the screen just so that blue light isn't going into your brain and waking you up and keeping you alert. It helps you to wind down. So try and find whatever way there is to do that on your phone. I think it's called night shift or night mode, something like that, in display and settings or somewhere in there. So have a look, see if you can do that. But it's all about trying to teach yourself, okay, this is wind down time. And the blue light, TV, none of that helps. Try to do something relaxing, read, do a puzzle, I don't know, go for a walk. Even you can even unload the dishwasher if you're like me. You have to do that stuff in the evening. But whatever it is, just not anything too stimulating. Okay, number 3, your bedroom should be a place of calm and solitude. Okay, now I don't want to know everything you get up to in there, but just as a basic rule, talking about improving sleep only, it should be about a calm environment. So it shouldn't be too bright when you're in there. It should be ideally just where you go to sleep, where you go to rest. It's a room of nice things. Have things in there that bring you joy and make you feel safe and calm. Maybe candles, maybe, I don't know, something, a picture of your children, anything that brings that kind of cozy feeling in. Some nice cushions, a throw, a blanket, lovely pillow, nice bedding, worth investing in some good bedding. I mean, if you're me, you won't go to the extent of ironing it, but that's fine. So yeah, there shouldn't really be a TV in your room. You don't need to take your tablet or whatever into your room. You may need to have your phone for your alarm, or in case somebody needs you, but just as much as you can control it, a place of calm. Okay, so yeah, your bedroom really should be fairly cool. We sleep better in a cooler, darker room. Blackout blinds and curtains are really good. I used to keep a dim light on either on the landing or in my bedroom for years, like from being a child, and it carried on and on. Not because I was particularly scared of the dark, but I think I was just felt that nighttime was a really lonely time. I was the only one awake and it was kind of comforting. But actually it doesn't help you to sleep better. So a cooler, darker room is the way to go. Next, number 4. Keep a notebook and a pen or some post-its or something you can write on next to you or in a drawer, so that when something occurs to you in the night or you are lying there thinking, you can jot it down. That way you don't have to think, I need to remember that tomorrow. You don't have to think, what was that thing I was thinking of in the night? Maybe even if it's something nice or something you need to tell your child or your husband or whatever it is, jot it down, take it out of your head onto a piece of paper. It's there for you to deal with in the morning. Nighttime isn't for that, but at the same time, if you try to remember it, it will be bugging you. So just keep a bit of paper and a pen next to the bed, rather than putting it in the notes on your phone, because then you'll be like, oh, I'm awake now, I'll check Facebook. Yeah, don't do that. Just jot it down, safer way to do it. Okay, next tip, number 5. Don't count the hours or worry about the time. Haven't we all been there when you are lying there? I think it's in an episode of Friends where Chandler is going like, if I go to sleep now, I'll only get 6 hours or whatever it is. Have you ever thought like that? I definitely have. And you've noticed every single hour passing, every quarter of an hour passing sometimes, and you're just like, why am I not asleep? It can make you really angry, can't it? It makes no difference. So just think, it doesn't really matter what the time is, I'm awake and that's that. Just kind of accept it. You will be as tired as you're going to be the next day, regardless of how much you worry about it. In fact, I read a study about how those people that are worried about how much sleep they have function less well in the day than those people who have had the same amount of sleep but don't worry about it. So it's not going to do you any good. Try not to count the hours. Yes, it might be, I only have half an hour to go to sleep now before I have to get up, when you've been up all night. And yes, it is so frustrating. I so get it. You get so angry at yourself, don't you, when you can't see a reason. But Try not to think about it. Try not to worry about it. It is what it is. And you will somehow survive. You will get through the next day. You've done it before. Okay, we've been there, and you can get better. This next one is kind of the biggest one, I think. This is number 6, and it is the 20-minute rule. The GP told me about this, and I was like, that's not going to work. I don't believe that will work. He said, this is the trick to train your body into proper sleep. It will take a few nights for your body to get into it. But what you do is you have your kind of bedtime set. You do your wind down. You follow all the tips we've already talked about. Your bedroom is a place of calm and solitude. Go to bed, you lie there, and you see if you fall asleep. You should be feeling fairly sleepy at the time you've decided to go to bed, in an ideal world, but don't worry if not. You lie there for 20 minutes. If you fall asleep, great. If you don't, you get up. After 20 minutes, you get up. Go out of the room, go downstairs, and pick up a book or a puzzle or something quiet and calm. No TV, no phone, no Facebook, no Instagram, none of that. Something calm, okay? And you sit and you do that for 20 minutes. Everything is 20 minutes. Sit and do that for 20 minutes. Even if you were about to fall asleep, after the 20 minutes you get up. This is what the doctor told me, and I thought that was insane. But I went with it. So after you've done your 20 minutes of reading or whatever it is, you go back to bed, you try again for 20 minutes and you lie there. If you haven't fallen asleep, you get back up. And you keep doing it all night for as long as necessary. The first 3 nights I did this, I didn't go to sleep at all. I just kept getting back up after 20 minutes. And I thought, this is not going to work. This doctor is insane. After a few nights, something really kicked in. So please bear with it. Okay, so that is the 20-minute rule. The other 20-minute rule that ties in with this is if you ever nap in the day, I wouldn't necessarily advise it, but only because I fear that it might mess up your nighttime sleep routine. I don't have the opportunity to nap in the day, and I've never been able to nap anyway, so I don't know if this is a good thing, but I am told that 20-minute naps are the optimum amount of time to sleep for. Anything more than that, and you go into a deeper phase of sleep, which will make you feel really groggy when you wake up. You just can't wake up. Anything 20 minutes-ish or less, the idea is that will make you feel refreshed. So please try it. Let me know how you get on with naps. Please comment. I'd love to get better at them. I'm sure when my little girl is a bit older, I might have the opportunity every so often for a nap. Who knows? Maybe on a day where she's poorly and wants to nap. But let me know if it does any good. I'm just going to finish with a bit of an interesting fact. I actually attended a couple of sleep courses over the years at Cambridge University. Sounds posh, anybody can go, you just have to pay. Just because sleep was such a problem for me, I'd have done anything to get some help. And I found out that historically, people used to sleep in 2 phases. And there's loads of literary references to this. It's quite interesting when you start to look it up. But especially in the winter, because they would be indoors from when it got dark, from sort of 4 p.m, and they'd be indoors until it got light again the next day. So as you know, that is a lot of hours, and we're not designed to sleep that long. But they would go to bed earlier and naturally wake up after a few hours. Say they'd wake up at like midnight, something that you might think, oh, I do that, I wake up not long after I've gone to sleep. And they would do something productive for a couple of hours, as if it was another part of the day, because they'd be awake. They'd get tired again and they'd go back to bed. There's one, I can't remember the book, but there's one book where he says, feeling refreshed after his first sleep, he did not solicit more. And there are references like that about the 2 sleeps, which I found interesting because I quite often wake up in the night and can't go back to sleep, usually around 3ish. But of course, we're going to bed later than they would have. So, yeah, just thought that was an interesting one. If anybody has any more tips, if you don't agree with any of these, if they haven't worked for you, if you are at your wit's end with sleep, please comment, message. We can help each other here. Sleep is such a big deal. You always hear about how good it is for you, how, you know, life expectancies are shortened if you don't get enough sleep. Don't worry too much about that. You know, life expectancies are shortened in a million different ways and we only have so much control. We can only do our best. But please try these tips. See if they help you. Let me know. And good luck. And I am talking as somebody that has suffered, like really suffered. I will link a post that I wrote for Mind a few years ago that tells you quite how bad my sleep got. So I won't repeat it on here, but please have a read and let me know if there's anything you want to add. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, everybody. Bye.